Grocers Association is at a standstill in terms of their negotiations with the government and getting that proposal for the price control list finalized and agreed to. It's now the second time in about a week they're at this position, and what's at stake right now is they're waiting on the government's response to the proposal issued late, I think it was late Thursday evening or Friday, and of course that enforcement comes into play tomorrow, November 1st. Well, a voice note that was sent to retailers by the president of the association, Philip Beneby, late this afternoon, suggests that retailers just continue to hold their position and that nothing has changed and they will continue business as usual tomorrow. We are going to hear now from Godson Johnson of Burnt Rock, Long Island, of the Burnt Rock Convenience Store. Burnt Ground, Long Island, of the Burnt Ground Convenience Store on the island. Godson, thank you very much for just discussing with us once again the latest in this ongoing negotiation standoff and whatever else is happening with the retailers and government. Thank you for appearing on the show and welcome.
Thank you, Shenique. Hello, Shenique. Hello, Bahamas.
Yes, let's just talk. Where do things stand right now? I just referenced a voice note sent late this afternoon by President of the Retailers Grocers Association, RGA, Philip Beneby, basically telling you retailers, store owners, store operators, stand still. So nothing has changed. You're going to proceed as normal tomorrow.
Yes, we from what I understand, again, from a voice note from the president, nothing has been. There was a meeting tentative for last week Friday, which I understood didn't happen.
A meeting between who?
The Prime Minister and the association.
So that meeting did not take place, and so therefore nobody knows where they stand. The proposal that was sent to the Prime Minister's office late last week, as far as you know, either has not been reviewed as yet or whatever the situation is, but you all have not heard from them.
You know, the association has had no response. Mr. Beneby has been very diligent. Can you hold a minute? Okay. Mr. Beneby has been diligent in really corresponding the state of affairs. And so we all being advised to just maintain the status quo.
And continue tomorrow, November 1st, with business as usual.
Well, yes, because as you know, it was government who came out with the regulation or the projection of the regulation, and it was government who invited a response. So my understanding of the legality involved with that, if you invite a response, that means you're not going forward with what you projected towards the grocers. And so you're asking, you have put value to our input before you proceed ahead, and therefore that our response haven't been accorded, no response from the Prime Minister's office or the Minister of Finance.
What's the mindset, the feeling among grocers, your size, Family Island grocers and wider, this evening right now, hours before the new price list is to be implemented or enforced?
Well, what we understand from Mr. Alkides is that it's coming into effect. All right. Now, I don't think, as we rightly assess, that government did a deliberate assessment of what it is that they were touching. All right. And I think the Prime Minister, as I understand, was quite forward in relaying to the association that he was not abreast or aware of the in-depth analysis of what was really taking place. In other words, he was not really cognizant of the true ramification of this decision, and therefore he was apt to say that there will be some rewinding by government or retraction by government.
What do you make of the, and you all have obviously teamed up with them and decided that you're going to take their position as well, but what do you all make, or you make, of the Pharmaceutical Association's position, where they say this cannot work? There's no way that this can be added to a price control item. In fact, government, you take a cut. How about you doing away with that for the time period that you're asking us? What do you all make of that and their position?
Yes, the Pharmaceutical Association, if I may say, has put forward a very convincing assessment of their position, and which cannot be ignored. Because unlike the grocers, like this particular grocery store, this convenience store, we can go part of the day without air conditioning. But a pharmaceutical must run air conditioned 24/7 to maintain the drugs that they shelf for the general public. So yeah, and as I understood from their spokesperson, they would have already done some adjustment for government some years back, and whoever launched this project did not do their homework. That's all I can say.
You mean that in terms of the suggestion? You mean the suggestion to the Office of the Prime Minister to sort of put this interim measure in place to assist with inflation, to buffer inflation somewhat? You mean that?
Yes. Whoever came up with it did not do their homework. All right. They would have consulted with the pharmaceutical company and see what it is that they are faced with. Okay? It's just, when you hear their case, it's just impossible. Impossible. And this can only bring hardship on the general public, because you have government, Shenique, there's a principle in law that they say government cannot legislate morality. Well, what's the difference? Government is actually trying to legislate our charity. That, in effect, is what it's saying. We need to give all. I mean, and it's saying, because I'm saying that because it has mentioned the purpose why it's bringing these legislation into place to assist the most vulnerable and identifiable sector of our community. And so, in effect, what they're saying that we're telling you to give something of your property, of your possession. That I think that's akin to legislating someone's. That is somewhat in the field, in the ballpark of legislating morality.
And so, what do you foresee happening this week, tomorrow, moving forward? What is?
Yes.
And I know you don't speak on behalf of the association.
Thank
However,
you.
I'm asking you as a member of the association and a Family Island member.
I feel the practicalness of all of this, the feasibility of all of this. I think government is going to retract. Government ought to retract. All right, that's what I see coming. Okay, because reasonably, I'm going from a reasonable perspective in terms of this is not possible. This is not possible what they're asking. Not what they're asking. Again, we give them a counter proposal.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say going forward, as you suggest, I think government is going to retract. They ought to retract. I think they're going to want to give this more due diligence. They did not realize that they were touching on such a pivotal social block or economic block of the society. Whoever put this together, this conundrum, whoever stood this conundrum up, they could not have believed that wait a minute, we just hit a solid rock in the communities of the Bahamas. We don't.
I would put it this way: if you're a beekeeper, disturbed a bee nest, I think it's called, a beehive. That's it, a beehive,
Right.
without realizing the extent and how huge the beehive is.
Yeah.
Godson.
Yeah, because we grocers, as we had iterated before, grocers carry more responsibility than just a financial package exchange. We are pillows in our communities. A lot of grocers throughout the length and breadth of the Bahamas, they're in this business for service, Shenique.
Mm-hmm.
It is service, pure service.
I
Service to
thank
their
you very
community.
much. I want to check in with you again tomorrow
Yes.
and see if perhaps we need an update on tomorrow evening show. But I certainly thank you for speaking with us and giving us the latest on whether or not we have additional price control items on the breadbasket items list. As it stands now and the way it looks, the answer to that is no. But of course, we will continue to follow up with you, with the association, with other members.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, I have no other information that we are in a standstill, stale position, waiting to hear from the government, and from there we go.
Okay.
Hopefully government will be, good heads will prevail.
I thank you very much, sir.
Thank you too, ma'am. All the best.
Absolutely, and you
All
as
the best,
well.
ma'am.
Godson Johnson of the Burnt Ground Long Island convenience store there in Burnt Ground, speaking with us on the latest between the grocers and the government and how they're going to move forward November 1st, tomorrow, intending to introduce or broaden the breadbasket offerings and price control. As it stands, no decision made. Everybody sort of is at a stalemate and just waiting for a response from the Office of the Prime Minister. We are going to